I've always loved SRPGs, from the popular ones of Fire Emblem and Final Fantasy Tactics, to the more obscure Valiant Hearts and Tactics Ogre. I'll mop it up and get enjoyment out of most of them. And because of this, I wanted Nintendo to make the next installment of Advance Wars, since that's my second favorite SRPG franchise right after Fire Emblem. So back in the summer of 2017, I was watching the Nindies Direct, and I made it to the end of the Direct, and all of a sudden, my eyes light up as one trailer starts playing. I was ecstatic. I have been waiting for the last 12 years for another Advance Wars-like game, and it's been over 14 years since the last good Advance Wars. Shut up, Days of Ruin doesn't count. While Chucklefish was helming it, they've had a very mixed record, specifically with PR, and this game was hell to wait through, since the game came out a year and a half after it was announced, which for indies is a bit longer than usual without Kickstarters. However, there was a decent amount of blog posts to give more info, ranging from the COs, to the units, to the music, and various amounts of other info and goodies. Once February 1st came around, I bought on the Switch eShop and started cracking at it, with very high optimism. 4 months passed by and I finished the campaign, with some hours in the other modes. So does Wargroove soar like the bolt from a ballista, or is it a blank round missing its target completely? After the hype died down, is Wargroove good? The story of Wargroove is a bit on the cliche side, of where the heroes are dealing with a relic that can destroy the world. In the beginning of the game, your father dies, and Mercia, the Princess of Cherrystone, becomes a queen. However, the nation of Felheim attacks, and then the two nations go to war. It's up to you to go and put an end to Felheim's warmongering, and understand the true motive of Felheim and what they're after, as the game keeps alluding to something that Mercia isn't supposed to know, known as the weapon Requiem, an all-powerful weapon that can cover the whole earth in ruin. The final boss it creates is also very unique, which I will not spoil, so it's definitely used and is a presence in the story. The main facet that sells this game, however, is the little conversations and side story that give the game its personality. These side stories are a great way to either fill up a story beat explaining why characters act the way they do, or add some comedic side tales and helps the characters have varied personalities, from Nulu's general, more passionate delivery making her an entertaining character in her energetic delivering and writing, to Emmerich's wise and polite manner, complementing his elderly sage appearance. Half of the personality comes from the voice actors delivering their personalities, complementing the writing, giving a fuller personality to the characters. From Ragna's "Fight me!" to Greenfinger's "Search," making him sound like a dad that just found crumbs all over the carpet. Search hungers! You will taste good. Each character also has a small bio for their history that you get after completing certain side missions. I can give you the history, likes, dislikes, etc. on the character in question, giving a bigger impression of our heroes and villains. It also helps that the overall presentation, style, and the flow of the sprites is fantastic. There's so much energy in generic units attacking, since each nation has different aesthetics. Cherrystone is based off of a medieval England with knights, hunters, and stone-walled golems. Felheim has an undead aesthetic with skeletons, plague doctors, and giant bats as dragons. Floran tribes have the forest aesthetic with the forest people, shamans for wizards, and having artillery being tree puns, and Heaven Song having the Japanese influence with samurais, having warriors with masks, and Shiba Inus as battle pups. The music, however, could have used some touch-ups. While it's not bad at all and it fits the character's personality nicely, it doesn't have many memorable tunes that I just hum or listen to while I work. There's some, like Emmerich's theme and Cheeky Ruckus, but overall, not much of the soundtrack reaches the level of Andy's theme or Sasha's theme, or even Rachel's theme from Advance Wars. Overall, while the story follows specific beats and it hinders the story overall, it helps that the side conversations really expand on the world and characterization, and the aesthetic being so well done. The meat and potatoes of the game is the story mode, where missions place you on a map, having you go through many trials that have the clear condition of either taking down the commander, or by removing the base, which gives you a rank from D to S and stars upon completing the map, giving not only a more diverse way to take down each map, but a reason to replay missions. As stated before, the game is a spiritual successor to Advance Wars and follows the system to a T. You move units on a grid, having them interact with the map, by either attacking the opponent or using special ability whoever has it. The way that the battling system works is that the less HP your unit has, the weaker their attacks and defense will be, since there's less of them to fight back. Throughout the map, villages will be scattered about that you can claim with any unit that moves on foot. That will give you money at the start of turn that you can use to either heal a unit from the village, costing the village HP, or building a wide assortment of troops from either a barracks, a tower, or a port. all of which give you a wide assortment of units from basics like swordsmen and archers to golems and dragons on the high end. Alongside the wide assortment of units, they each have stipulations for being able to do critical damage, like how the pikemen can deal crits if they're adjacent to another pikeman, or how knights can crit if they move their full movement. This adds positional tactics into the system, which gives the game a wide variety of ways to approach a situation in question, and to help that is the commander unit. Unlike Advance Wars, the commander takes the field and are your strongest units, with the capability to heal each turn by 5%. When it's fully charged, the unit will be able to activate their Wargroove, which depends on each commander, from Mercia's healing aura healing units around her for 50%, making it a spin on Andy's Hyper Repair, to Caesar's Inspire, acting like Racing from Path of Radiance, making the units adjacent to him move again. It can really help with picking out a playstyle. Unfortunately, it doesn't have some of the key features that can help expand on the strategy. For starters, you can't go on villages or buildings to give some nice terrain advantages like in Advance Wars, which will cost you. However, it was a nicer way to restore HP. Also, unlike Advance Wars, you can't join units to combine their HP up to 100%, which added a risk and reward system. And the biggest one in my opinion is the lack of advantages to each CO. In Advance Wars, each CO had their own strengths and weaknesses, such as Max having a strong direct combat with all direct combat units, tanks, recon, subs, etc. having increased firepower, but his artillery having one less range and less firepower. Or Sammy having weaker tanks and rockets, however foot units got a massive firepower buff, one extra point of movement, and taking over buildings easier. It helped differentiate COs since some were better at certain victories, map designs, and stipulations. Overall, the story mode missions do get challenging and do introduce new units at a steady pace, making it enjoyable, but nothing spectacular. However, the story mode isn't all that it has to offer. The extra modes is where the game shines, mainly 3: arcade mode, puzzle mode, and the campaign and story editor. I was not able to try the online mode extensively on account of me not running into many matches. However, SRPGs do not have the best online, especially PvP, since players just dance around each other, stocking up armies, and just being a bit of a stalemate. However, the other 3 modes range from decent to amazing. The weakest of the 3 in my opinion is the arcade mode. Arcade mode is just like any other arcade mode in any fighting game. You have a series of enemies, beat them in advance. Beating these allow for more info on their bios and more stars, which can unlock other modes, and more importantly, more puzzles in puzzle mode. Puzzle mode, being my favorite, throws you into a specific situation that has you complete a certain task in one turn. These really help in understanding of what a character is capable of, and thinking outside the box on solving a problem. It adds loads of playtime and I'm still coming back to take a crack at more of these since there's a lot. However, the fan favorite mode is the Map and Campaign Creator, which allows you to create your own maps and campaigns with the simple to understand and intuitive controls and commands, similar to Mario Maker. This allows for endless potential, especially since you can post them on the internet and browse to play maps and campaigns created by other fans. This gives the game a technically infinite amount of replayability, since new maps and campaigns are always around, but that doesn't mean all of them are good. I still like Puzzle Mode the most, however all 3 are nice additions to give you more bang for your buck. Wargroove is a fantastic indie release that is a brilliant supplement to the Advance Wars craving I've been having for a while. Its lighthearted writing, fantastic visuals, solid gameplay, and a plethora of modes makes it worth the $20 that it's marked at, especially since it's on Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and PC. So there's no reason to not pick it up if you're wanting a new SRPG to play, or you just want another Advance Wars type game. However, it still has flaws that I think a sequel can fix, but it holds back from being a must-have on any console. So, after the hype died down, Wargroove is awesome.